Hello everybody. Right, well, I'll start here. I've just made an absolute cunt of myself on somebody else's YouTube channel. Obviously this is on one of Graham's channels. Oh God, I've got to put the sunglasses on, I can't bear it. The one thing I said to Graham was, I wouldn't let him down. I wouldn't cry, I wouldn't grizzle. He didn't, he's the one who died of cancer, not me. And please don't in the comments be saying stuff like, oh, it's all right, you know, being all nice like that, because I'll tell you what set me off, and it really caught me by surprise, was a lady. I was talking to a lady, and her mum died of leukemia, and it was because she was talking about her experience, and it's like a scab, isn't it? You can't help picking it, and so I want to hear other people's experiences. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do, but then as the conversation goes on, it starts off okay, and then it just gets really tricky because it all comes up, and I guess it's all pretty recent. Anyway, I have been meaning to do a video for this particular channel, for Graham's channel, for a while, because I have seen so many of you in the comments say that your husband or wife died, however, 6 months ago, a year ago, but an awful lot of people have said that their husband or wife has died since Graham. And so I wanted to talk to you. This is for, and actually, really, believe me, I am just so fucking stupid. If Graham was here, he'd look at me like this and he'd go, he would, because the one thing that really kept him going, and me, was some of you have lost children, and we knew that from years ago, before he was diagnosed. We knew there are people in the community who've lost children. Obviously it's really tragic when they're young, but there's never a good age, is there? And that is a whole other ball game, my friends. That is a whole other ball game. Graham and I used to say, rather one of us die than, definitely. So, and then we got into listening to people's stories about that, and not only people who've got cancer, I mean other illnesses or tragic accidents and stuff like that. And I can't believe how brave a lot of the comments are when people I feel so ashamed. They're offering me condolences and sympathy, and a great big long comment at the bottom go, I remember when my son died, I remember when my daughter died. And I'm just like, oh my God, how the fuck do you hold it together? Because Graham and I'll tell you what he said to me about 5 years ago. He said, we shall grow old together, and we shall enjoy all the horrors that old age brings. Now, he wasn't old. I'm not old, but we're old enough. And to quote Whitney Houston, I don't want to tempt fate, if I died tomorrow, I think I've done all right. And that's how Graham felt. He said, if it happens, it happens, then I've done all right. So, and for me to be on YouTube, I'm too ashamed to tell you which channel it was. I went on someone's live, and this lady was, I sat and listened because she was clearly upset. And the best thing is to just let people talk and talk and talk. And she was. And she talked, at a certain point, she talked about her mum. And I knew exactly. When she said bone marrow, I knew exactly what she was talking about. And I remembered my brother-in-law, and we weren't close or anything, but we got on all right. But I knew exactly what she was talking about, and for it to be her own mum, and for her to say, she just couldn't cope, and I'm not going to go into the details because, believe me, it's horrific. don't want to depress anyone out there who might have to have bone marrow. They have this thing about not having anaesthetic or something. Anyway, I thought we could form a widower club, or, oh God, is that too depressing? It's, well, I mean, I just don't feel I qualify. I really don't. I cannot emphasise what a difference all of you made to Graham. I'll tell you, it would have been a very different situation had he not had all of you on YouTube. Very different. Had I not had you. Let's say me and Graham had never had a YouTube channels and we didn't have all you guys. Oh my God. It would have been a nightmare. But the fact that you guys were there to be with us and tell us your stories, your experiences, then it's like the expression, you either got to laugh or cry. And I've been laughing until tonight. This is ridiculous. This is not me. I do not do this. Graham would not like this at all. He was so stoic, such a guy. I'll tell you what he would be saying to me. He'd be saying, why aren't you going live all the time on my channel? Maybe I should. I would love to hear all of your stories, only if they're not too painful. But my God, losing a child in comparison to losing a partner or a parent, I can't imagine it. It's never happened to me, thank God. Happened to Michael, Graham's brother. That was... Well, he phoned me up and he said, I've lost him. And I said, what do you mean you've lost him? He said, where's he gone? And he said, I've lost him. And then when I realised, I had to put, God forgive me, I had to put the phone down. I went and said the same to Graham and he said, what's he talking about? Well, where's he gone? That was horrific. That's horrific. And my brother-in-law, to this day, if anybody talks about it, he can't cope. I probably shouldn't have mentioned that, but I can imagine a lot of you have lost children. I mean, honest to God, I'm not going to. I'm all right, Kat. I'm all right, because she gets all freaked out. Claws in my back, if you don't mind. She gets all freaked out. She won't come talk to me unless she knows I'm upset. She's not that friendly, actually. Oh, you're quite fat. Not sure. Well, she's an old girl now. We're old girls together, aren't we? Oh, you need a brush. So anyway, widowhood. I mean, I personally feel exceptionally lucky because of all of you. I know Graham felt exceptionally lucky because of all of you. He was the type of guy who loved to talk to people. He was always very, very social, and he wanted to live the best to the last minute. Last thing he wanted to do was lay in bed going, oh, I'm such a victim. That he never wanted that. Never, ever, ever. And I've just, oh God, I've just been on this person's live and I think I've made everybody upset. And I didn't mean that. I didn't mean to make anybody upset. It's just, sometimes it hits you, doesn't it? And I hate it when I can't stop crying. Pull yourself together, Hesketh. What's the matter with you? Come on. Oh, I had, I'll tell you what else is. I think I know what set me off today, and it's nothing to do with that lady or that live. Well, I've got a lawyer, and I'm quite particular with lawyers. And today they sent me an email saying, well, I know they've fucked up. They said, oh, someone else has fucked up. And it's sort of, it made me mad because I thought that person should have double checked. And that's been, oh God, I've got cat hair now everywhere. Anyway, not ignoring the people who've lost children or loved ones before, but those of you that have lost your partners around about the same time as Graham and since, you know, you're probably kind of around about the same mark as me at the moment. We all react differently, don't we? Oh God, I don't know how the royal family do it. I really don't know how they do it. God, they must get it in the neck in fucking spades. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. But it is tough. The majority of the time I'm alright. I'm fine. Gets me down a little bit at night. But I'm alright because I've got a couple of people who WhatsApp me. Trevor's been really lovely, really supportive. Scotch Debs, a few other people who make me laugh, send me WhatsApps. Some of the things that I'll tell you what makes me laugh is, and some of the, I'm only referring to those that have, their husbands or wives have died since March the 4th, because, you know, it's kind of a little bit closer to me. Sort of things that make me laugh is today I heard a pathetic YouTuber say, "Oh, Fiona hurt my channel." Oh, right. So, pathetic YouTuber equals Fiona hurt my channel. Graham equals died. Grow some balls, you pathetic twat. Just some guy who loves to go around lying and manipulating and shit. I ain't naming him. Then he can't blame me for damaging his channel. Everything's Fiona's fault. That's the other. Oh yeah, that's something I wanted to talk to you about. Me and Graham talked about this a lot, and I dare say a lot of you did with your partners if they were, because this is the other thing. Me and Graham, in a manner of speaking, were lucky. I know this is going to sound crazy. We talked about it a lot because it was a long-term illness, so we had some preparation. Imagine the door, you know, police come to your door and it's a shock. That's different. That's different because then the human nervous system, body, you've got the shock. Whereas with a long-term illness, you do have some sort of time for adjustment, and I found that helped. Thank God, touch wood. I mean, the closest I've come to that was that Alison, who worked for my dad, the YTS girl. She was 16, and she was a bit rough, to say the least. She was a bit rough around the edges, which made my dad laugh because she sort of got the haunches up of them. My dad didn't like snobs. My dad knew the right etiquette and everything. So did my mum, and they were very kind people. But if some snob came in the room going, sneer, 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 guffaw, 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 my parents were very good at making them feel about fucking big. They'd have loved the internet and trolls. They'd have been experts at it. Anyway, Alison, I think she was 17. It was about a week before her birthday when the police came in and said her dad had dropped down dead of a heart attack. And they were going to tell her, and they told my dad, and he kind of looked them up and down and thought, it's better I do it. Chris, my brother-in-law, the one who had cancer for 24 years, he had pancreatic cancer for 24 years. I'm sure my sister won't mind me saying he was in medical journals because, normally it's very difficult, but he survived 24 years. And his dad, he dropped down dead all of a sudden. I mean, it was just awful. So Graham and I always considered that we were lucky that we had got as far as we had, because some of you have said that your husband died when you had little children. Well, that did not happen to me. And it didn't happen to Graham. So let's keep things in proportion, guys. God, it's a natural thing, dying, you know. And we also talked about opportunists. Well, Graham and I thought certain opportunists would come from this direction. And they didn't. They came from a very surprising, from this direction. I mean, I'm not saying who or when, and there haven't been many of them. What I will say is they're all YouTubers. Little ones with little tiny feelings, and their little channel is so much more important than someone's fucking life. It's like, fuck off, like I've got the fucking time for your shit. And I read your comments where you say, you know, my son died, my daughter died, my God, you must watch these channels and think, yeah, as my gran would say, my lovely gran from Gainsborough, you don't know you're born. She used to say to me, don't make a fuss, we don't have to make a fuss, let's not make a fuss. And she was quite right. I feel a bit better now. Oh my God, I feel like I've got to go say sorry to that. I was on someone else's YouTube channel and then they had a guest. And the guest was like pouring her heart out to me about her mum's death. And I just fucking went into meltdown and just made a complete fucking idiot of myself. Probably upset that lady. Probably upset the person who owns the YouTube channel. And probably upset everyone in the comments. Oh God, what a fucking idiot, Fiona. The one thing Graham said was, don't do that. I miss him as much as you guys do. I miss him. Ben is in complete denial. That's his defense mechanism. Make a joke of it, never happened. Just never happened. I'm not doing this video to bring anyone down. Just, I thought, as if you guys have had something similar, then you might, I don't know, relate. Might not even release this. And I know it's really difficult for Ben. I mean, Faith has really struggled. It's like none of us, much as Ben tries to brush it off, absolutely none of us, not me, not Faith, not Ben. Graham keeps popping up on the feed and none of us can actually watch him. I can't watch him. I watch a little bit, then I've got to turn it off. There will come a day when we can watch it. When we were in the hospital the last 10 days, as soon as he went on that slider thing, you know, I sort of knew, and so did he, but I didn't understand to what extent. Dr. James, she was lovely, palliative lady, she said, let's test out how many painkillers you need. So when he was in the hospital, they were bringing paracetamol. They had like Panadol, Nurofen, but they were giving him injections. Well, not injections. He had the cannula. They were giving him stuff in that. They were giving him morphine, which required several nurses had to go to the chemist and sign for it. And his pain, he was waiting so long in the end because I mean, not long, like 20 minutes is a long time when you're in agony. In the end, we said, can he just go on the slider? And she gave us a bit of a look like, are you both sure? And we were like, are you kidding us? Of course we're sure. He's in agony. What she meant was he'd be non-compos mentis within 24 hours of being on the slider. He wouldn't be able to speak. I don't know if he could hear. His eyes went milky. Even when he was, I don't know if he was sleeping. His eyes never closed. And that was really difficult. And within the first 24 hours, I mean, he wanted the bed up and down because, I know this is going to sound awful gruesome. You know, you can't clear your throat like I do. He couldn't. So we would put the bed up so he could. And then down, but I mean, breathing was also a challenging. And we didn't know if he wanted the bed up or down. And Benji said to him, Dad, just make a noise. when it's the right angle. So Benji was moving it and Graham was going, that's all he could do. And that really affected Ben and Faith a lot. No fucking picnic, that's for sure. Well, this isn't a very cheerful video, is it? But it does kind of make me laugh when I hear little YouTubers complaining about their little egos and their wafer-thin skin and oh, how bad life is. Oh my God, don't you just want to headbutt them? The girls I can understand, but I mean the fellas, grow some nuts. Maybe get a hard on for the first time in 30 fucking years or whatever, you pathetic wimps. And my old man, he never cried, right? He never ever once had self-pity. He never cried about the situation. He was always full of hope, because that is how you have to be. If you are worried that you have some sort of cancer, if you are going through some sort of chemotherapy, and there's loads of different types of chemotherapy, there's chemo and chemo. If you've been told, you know, it's palliative, never give up hope. Never. Graham never did. Because honest to God, the doctors don't fucking know. My friend, they do not know. They do the best they can. Works for some, doesn't others. Perhaps I've not emphasised enough that by the time they found Graham's, it had invaded the muscle. But it had not gone metastatic, but it had invaded the muscle quite a bit. As I say, we were winning. We were winning with the Budwick diet. Well, that's our personal experience. We were winning. We were winning. That little tube, the smaller one, that was gone, and the bigger one was obliterated. And I don't know about you guys, but I mean, me personally now, I'm eating red pickled cabbage, you know, sauerkraut. I'm eating that. That's always advised. I'm on the flaxseed oil. I slather my skin in it all the time. Drinking gallons of iced water every day, and in the evenings, more than a touch of vino on occasion. And I eat fish. I mean, I've always had a really careful diet. Don't eat sugar. But I mean, who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? Could be a lottery, couldn't it? Who the hell knows what trips it off? One day they'll find a drug, won't they? They just, and that's it. And you're cured of cancer. And it'll be like a cold. I'm just going to get some ice, guys. Back in a minute. And as an example, I'm not whining about this, but I mean, what surprised me after Graham died was opportunist little YouTube channels using the subject as clickbait. Oh, Fiona did this, Fiona bullied me, Fiona hates autistic people, Fiona kills kittens, Fiona this. That really took me by surprise. You know, I mean, I was expecting all kinds of people to take advantage because Graham and I had discussed it. Nobody has. Everyone in real life, and all of you have kept us going the whole time. You really have. You saved Graham's life. I don't think he would have gone as long as he did if it hadn't have been for you guys. Obviously, having me and the kids, that helps. But really, I was really surprised. You know, there were a few people that Graham and I had talked about in real life. We thought, maybe they'll try something, but they never did. They've got about their business. There were people online that we thought, you know, maybe they'll try it. Or no, it came from very surprising quarters. Basically, little channels that can't fucking grow because their content's shit. So they thought they'd make some shit up or they'd cause some shit. Oh, clickbait, I'll earn some money out of it. Or maybe they're being paid by some twat because some of them aren't even monetised. I reckon they're getting the odd 50 quid, 100 quid here, there by somebody. I don't know, maybe Meghan Markle, maybe the fucking sugars, who fucking cares? That's their problem because it's not sustainable. They're a bunch of twats. So I wanted to say that in case any widowers or widows out there, you're going through this early stages and funeral plans and stuff like, oh my God, the funeral, fucking hell. Oh my God. It's like you well, did I just see somebody walk behind me? Oh, I must have things in my peripherals now. I'm imagining things. What have you seen, Kat? Well, it's not Benji. He's out with his girlfriend tonight, and quite right too. And I've deliberately, I've not cried in front of Ben in all the months. I've had a couple of meltdowns where I've gone, but I've not done do you know what, my mother, when my father died, oh my God, when my father died, that was awful. He was 64. Of course, he was ill for a long time. What happened with my dad was, he was a very stressed person, like me. I'm a lot like my dad, and Ben's a lot like me. And my dad was a lot like his dad, and his dad was a lot like his dad. High stress levels, prone to strokes and heart attacks. That's us. Whereas it would appear Graham's side, his mum died of cancer. His dad died of asbestosis. That's it's like industrial. My mother died of cancer in the end, but she was 84, ovarian cancer. But my dad, he was a big character, massive, and he basically developed diabetes. So they call it diabetes 2 or something. Anyway, they had him on pills and stuff. He had very high blood pressure and all that. It had been going on a long time. He'd had a few mild heart attacks. He'd had like itchy gums and stuff. And then the doctor said, oh, that's actually a heart attack. It's just he didn't respond to it because his nerve endings are all dead. And that, like I say, 64 years old. And so I was used to phoning my mum up in Scotland, or she'd phone me and she'd go, oh, Daddy's had this and Daddy's been to the hospital and Daddy had a hypoglycemia, and and she'd tell me all about the 120 pills he had to take a week or a day, I don't know, and she'd have to prick his finger and put it on so I was used to it. But one day I was at a friend's house. Well, sort of a friend. He was a bit of an idiot that my boyfriend liked, and I just had a really bad feeling. And I said, could I use your telephone? This was pre-mobile phone, 1995. Well, we had mobile phones, but I didn't have one because I wasn't rich, and my parents certainly didn't. Pair of technophobes. He said, yeah, sure. I said, I'm going to call the Outer Hebrides. Is that all right? He went, yeah, it's fine. My boyfriend said, what do you want to ring your parents for? I said, I don't know, Tyrone. That was his name. I said, I don't know. I've got a bad feeling, really bad feeling. So I phoned my mum up and I said, my mother, totally British. Hello, darling. How is it? How are things? I said, oh, everything's all right here. I just thought I would call because I just got a really bad feeling. And she went, oh, yes, Daddy had a heart attack at 5:30 this afternoon and he's dead. Like really matter of fact, because she was in fucking shock. Oh, I screamed out. And I just put the phone down, and my boyfriend and his mate were like, holy fucking shit, what the fuck? Oh, I could hardly hold myself together. I was 25. And the funeral was, she flew his body down from Scotland, and the funeral was a big hoo-ha. I mean, it was marvellous, because when someone you love dies, don't avoid people you know who have had someone who's died, because what they need is for you to say, I'm so sorry. Because I honestly thought, you know, when my dad died, there'll be a funeral and there'll just be the family there, and that'd be that. Well, it was a big thing, no internet sort of thing then. The church was full and it was spilling out. Graham's father had the same. Graham never knew my dad, and I never knew his, because my dad died in 1995 and Graham's dad died in 1996. So, and Graham and I didn't know each other at that point. We didn't meet until 1997. And we'd spoken often about both our respective fathers' funerals, and his father had a similar thing. He worked for the gas board. Hundreds of people filled the church and spilled out. And I had the same with my father. When my mother died, there were a lot of people there, but less. But she'd said to me, well, as people get older, a lot of your friends are dead, so the funeral becomes smaller. So can you imagine how much it must have meant to Graham to know that there were 3,500 people on the live stream? And I had total hesitancy about that, because I thought, you know, is it distasteful? Should I do it? Should I tell was he called the dean of the cathedral? Should I tell him? And in the end, I just thought, I'm going to just tell him the truth. And he said, oh, it's totally normal. You know, we've done that since the COVID. Oh, I feel much better now. Oh, God, I really feel... I must have made that lady feel so fucking bad about her mum. I just went into free fall. I thought I was all right. I thought, I'm all right, I'm all right, I'm all right. And then I wasn't. Just all of a sudden, as I'm sure a lot of you that go through this, I can't emphasise what a difference all of you made to Graham's life. Can you imagine? Well, I don't know how to put it into words. He was so happy, so grateful. He enjoyed company. That's what people want when they're not feeling well. They want company. They want to chat, and what better company than you guys? Anyway, I think I've gone on enough, and I am all right, as I'm sure you all know. You get there, don't you? You get there in the end. We all get there. It's just different. People disappear, but I can feel him. He's here, definitely. So is my mum, my dad, all dead relatives. I was watching that film with Ricky Gervais, the dentist, Mr. Pincus or something, where he could see dead people and they were following him everywhere, and there was the naked guy who came into his bedroom and went, is this a good time? And it just made me feel so much better. I love films like that, and I can well imagine. Oh, it's like a simulated game, isn't it, people? We're still in the game. We are still in the game. And dead people, they're out of the game and they're watching. They're watching and they're listening, and they're seeing everything play out. We must be like in the Big Brother house or something. Anyway, lights going. Time for me to finish. Thank you all for listening, and obviously I'm talking all about me because I don't know about your circumstances, but it's not only that you've been there for me and Graham and Faith and Ben, you're there for each other as well. Don't forget that one. We may all fall out and disagree and row and stuff, but life is short, my friends. It is short. So let's make it good. Good night, and may your God go with you.